Well, hello there and welcome to my workshop. Now in this series I'm building a classical style acoustic guitar, but with a difference. I do hope you'll join me. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of my classical style guitar build. Now then, in the last episode I did some bending wood and I wasn't sure that it was going to work, but in actual fact it's turned out really well. And as you can see, I've got the body now, shape. As you can see, this guitar is coming together at last. Now then, just take this top off. What I need to do in this episode is sort out the bracing along the back of the guitar and probably get in the kerfing. I start my videos announcing what I'm going to be doing, and then the first thing I say after that is I'm going to do something completely different. And that's because a couple of days have probably passed between me doing the introduction and then getting time in the workshop, and I've thought better of it. And what I think I'm going to start off with is getting the neck prepared. So I need to cut the scarf joint on this end and then glue that up. I think I'm going to get on with that first. I am going to do the bracing, but I'm going to cut the neck first. I'll tell you what, I love the grain on this wood. It's something we talk about on the Guitar Builders Collective podcast. You know how when we build sort of our own custom guitars, we sort of love the wood rather than the painted finish that you get on commercial guitars. And I think, well, obviously part of that is the expense, because to get a nice wood is quite expensive, and for manufacturers to produce guitars with really fine woods would be very expensive, so they cover up the wood with paint. But if you can get hold of some wood, and I have to say this isn't tremendously expensive. I mean, that middle piece that I've got there is actually from an old windowsill. It's a question of just looking around and finding the wood. Anyway, nearly there. Just need to make sure that I'm planing this level. Goodness gracious me, I am. Well, there's a first. Yeah, needs a bit of work that way. I'm going to go for a slightly different approach in gluing on this headstock. Now what I've done, I've stuck a clamping caul on the back of this neck with some masking tape and double-sided tape. I've also stuck an angled clamping caul on there, so I don't have to worry about those falling off. So all I need to do is to line the things up, and I can do that with the lines with the veneer lines on both sides there. And yeah, just hold it still. So let's get some glue on this tissue. Right, line up time. Get the nut lined up. Okay. Let's get a clamp in place. See if we can't adjust it. Looks good down the bottom, so let's see if we can clamp that up without moving it. Well, I've got the glue squeezing out all round this, so I think that's going to be okay. Right, now to the bracing on the back of the guitar. Now I'm going to try and avoid putting bracing where the dolphins are, because I want it to be a silhouette and as clean as possible. So what I've done is some of the offcuts that I've got from the walnut strengtheners, the dolphin shapes I've put on the back, so I know now where the dolphins are when you look straight down. So if possible, I'd like to avoid those. So I can see I can probably put a brace there, get a brace in here. Now I'm not going to miss that one, but I don't think it matters so much, so let's try and get a brace in there as well. I may move that one nearer to the dolphin there. Just wonder if that's enough. I think it will be. Now in terms of the wood for the bracing, I had this sort of pine wood which I split the other day, which is, I think, the way you should do bracing, but it's very light and that sort of defeats the object. But then I've come across this edging piece which is mahogany from an old windowsill, and I'm thinking that that actually might be a better choice because it's going to be dark, and that's what I really am going for. So let's see if I can do something with this. Sort of making this up as I go along a bit, but that's the way I normally do it. I think it's going to work better with my old wooden plane, you know. This tends to take off a bit more. Especially when you adjust it. Well, there we are, 3 braces and a lot of shavings. Look at that. Excellent. Now I've noticed that a lot of acoustic guitars have a little strip of wood going along the join at the back, presumably just to strengthen that join. So what I'm going to do is cut a strip from this offcut of the walnut, and yeah, probably about 20mm wide, something like that. And then after I've glued these in, I'm going to put the strip between the pieces. Okay, get these stuck down. On the top of the guitar, I want to put a brace underneath the bridge. So what I've done, I've made myself this cardboard template and I've marked this on a piece of wood. So I'm now just cutting them out with a coping saw. Okay, so I'll get these glued up. Right, that should do the job. Just let that cure. I'm back in the workshop and I've just glued down the central piece. So I've got to let that cure. So now I'm going to have a look at fitting the 2 strengthening pieces at each end, and with the struts in between. So I've marked them up. So now I need to cut these to length, and what I need to do is create an insert in there, a hole that this is going to fit into. Okay, so let's get these cut. Now I'm afraid this is where I am really straying from the conventional way of building these guitars. So we're on new ground here. Perhaps I should say uncharted waters, given that we've got dolphins all over the place. Right, lower and upper. Okay. So they're cut to size. Now then, I've got to fix them into these blocks. Now I'm thinking the way to do this is to drill a hole in there at the angle that I want it and then square off the hole. So I've checked the width of these and they're 9mm and the depth of them is 12mm. If I do a 9mm hole on each side at the angle that I need, then let's see if I can chisel it out. So I've used my engineer's square here to make sure that that is upright, so that should go straight down in there. I'm hoping that this vise has gripped it tight enough, and I've set it to go a depth of 15mm. Let's give it a go. Now, holding a piece of work in a vise that you're going to chisel is normally fraught with difficulties, but nevertheless I'm going to have a go. Yes, I'm getting that sinking feeling. What can we do? Okay, I've got a block under it, let's try again. That looks pretty good. Okay, and here we have it, and well, it's going to take a lot of pressure to squeeze those two together, and this is going to fit into the body just like that, he says. Magic. And if you're new to this series, you'll be asking, what on earth is the point of that? Well, the point of that is it doesn't get in the way of my dolphins. So when you look through, you don't see those strengtheners, but it is giving the body strength so that I don't need to go overboard on the bracing on the top. My thoughts on that are that if I can avoid putting too much on the top, then I can let it vibrate more and get more sound. That's the theory. I'll get these glued up. I was almost thinking, do I need to glue it? But I think I do, because I think otherwise there's a good chance that I'm going to get some vibrations, and I don't want those. You don't want any rattles. Right, well, it's been a bit of a busy week and I managed to catch a bug halfway through, which has put me a bit behind. So I'm going to call this video a day because I've got to go and edit it. I do apologise for the sound quality towards the end of this video because I forgot to plug the microphone in properly. It's one of those things, never mind. This is a continuing and evolving story, so I do hope you'll stay with me. Do please continue giving me comments and telling me what I should be doing and what I'm doing wrong. And well, please hit subscribe. I will see you soon. In the meantime, stay safe. Cheers.